Even with the best of intentions, you can't be sure that you can win against armed robbers, so you gotta be careful. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson from Tucson, Arizona. Shows us an armed robbery here, and we're gonna learn some important lessons about preemptive steps that you can take to be safe, about situational awareness, about multiple attackers, and the real dangers that you'll face in a knife attack. You can just see to the left of the white pickup truck that the back door of this restaurant is open. And these two guys, one of whom used to be an employee of the organization, are going to use that open door to try to rob this place. So you see them, they're going to come in here, and this is all going to go down very quick. You can see it's about 10 minutes to 11 here, and they're going to come in. The first thing they're going to do is pepper spray the employee in blue, and it takes just a second for him to start going, oh no, this is crazy. Now the other employee here runs out the back and tries to get to the front of the restaurant. And as we see here, the employee in red is able to grab this guy who finally busts the door in, and it's on with wrestling for the two of them, and he takes him to the ground, but the other armed robber stabs him several times in the leg, and that lets the guy in the gray shirt there get on top of him, kick him, punch him in the face a few times, and now they're going to run back to the back and run the guy in the blue shirt who's still dealing with the effects of the pepper spray kind of off. The guys, I think, gonna try to get away, while the guy in the gray shirt, the armed robber in the gray shirt rather, is going to try to get what I'm going to guess is maybe the cash box out of a safe or something like that, but he's not going to be able to get it, and these two guys are going to run off, and you're going to see them run off in opposite directions, and this whole thing is over in under 90 seconds. So let's think about some of the lessons that we're going to learn from this one. First of all, it's a life of readiness and awareness. You can't leave a door open like this, guys. If you do, you got to have some kind of a locking mechanism or an understanding at least of self-defense principles here, because these guys were able to use that to launch the ambush, and they're always going to launch their attacks from ambush. Next, you got to know how you respond to pepper spray. I really would encourage you to take a class on OC and know how that you are going to respond in that moment to being sprayed, because you're going to need to know that so that if you're sprayed, you can deal with the consequences. It's not the end of the world if you know how to do it. For most people, few people, it's a really, really bad effect. But for most of us, you can fight through it if you know how. Next, you see the guy in the red shirt there, and he's barricaded that door. That should give you a second or two to plan your defense, but you got to have something beyond don't let him through here, because this guy's able to just muscle through the door. Now, we see some close-in fighting, some clinch fighting here, and some grappling, and we talk about not going to the ground quite a bit if you can help it, and the reason is for accomplices. And what we see here is he took him to the ground. I don't know if he had the skills to deal with him there, but his accomplice has a knife on him, and he didn't have to knife him enough to kill him, but he stabbed him in the leg several times, and that allowed the guy in gray against multiple attackers here to get the upper hand and kick him pretty good and beat the tar out of him pretty good. Now, they're going to run back and try to figure things out, but I just want to talk about here the fact that you're on your own. This whole thing's over in 90 seconds, and there's no way that the police could have responded in time, even if they were called. 5 minutes is very common police response time in major metropolitan areas. So there was nothing the police were going to do here. You are your own first responder. Now, these guys didn't get anything. They hurt these people, pepper sprayed one, stabbed another for nothing, and this is how these armed robbers often function. When they think they're going to get something, when they don't, they bug out. And now, finally, I do want to talk here about first aid skills and follow-up. That the manager here who's on the ground is hurting very badly, stabbed a couple times. You got to stay in the fight and use the first aid skills that you have to get the bleeding to stop, to get yourself to emergency medical attention. Lots of lessons to learn here about preemption, about situational awareness, about your response to both being stabbed and being pepper sprayed, as well as your first aid skills so that you can cover your rasp.